Wow, I actually figured out how to zoom this out more so it looks better. Okay, we learned it, we learned it. Anyways, hey, I'm finally back with a new video. I'm now blonde. I got it professionally done. I've never had my hair professionally bleached or anything. I've had it cut, but that's the extent of what I've had it done professionally. So I'm kind of loving how the blonde looks. I tried black a few years ago. It washed me out completely, unfortunately, as much as I loved it. Anyways, I'm finally back, and we're gonna be talking about the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament. Which I have many opinions on, to be completely honest with you. Um, there's just a lot of it that confuses me. Um, so I want to start off with the King, uh, the King of the Ring. Okay, let's. Sorry, I'm like scrolling through my photos to find it. I take so many photos. It's actually insane. Oh, I think I've gone too far now. Why am I back in April? Where is it? I know I have it. I know it's there. I found it. Okay. So let's talk King of the Ring tournament. So we already had some like decent players for the Fatal Four Way for each show. Um and um I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to remember what order they went in. I'm just gonna go in. Use Can y'all see that? I'm just gonna go this way, and then go over, and then do it this way. If that makes sense, just because it's easier. Oh, I scrolled too far and I ended up on this photo. Hold on, let me turn down my brightness. I love that. That's iconic. Anyways, let's talk about it, right? So we had we had Penta, Obafemi, Solo Sikoa, and Carmelo Hayes, which I fear it was already very obvious who was going to let me mute my phone, who was going to win that match, right? It was kind of obvious from the start. I mean, it was a good match. It went on for a bit longer than I expected it to, but obviously Obafemi won and he went on to the semifinals. I think each of the players that were in this, two from Monday Night Raw, two from Friday Night SmackDown for each tournament. I think that's a lovely idea. It gives the chance of somebody from each show going on. Um, so we had Obafemi win that one. Um, but Penta, Solo, and Carmelo, all great people to be putting in there. I do enjoy each one of them. Solo kind of gets on my nerves, but that's just his character with how it goes. But I did really enjoy that match. And then we had Dominic Mysterio, Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, and Damian Priest. I'm not gonna lie, the only one I was truly rooting for would have been Damian. I am not a fan of the other three personally. Dominic pisses me off. Braun Breaker, Trick, just not my type of characters or people or wrestler types I like. I've watched other things. Like there are some aspects of them that I like, but it's just like overall character. Um, and Trick is the United States champion, I believe. Like how Penta's the Intercontinental champion, right? I believe Trick is the United States champion. Anyways, my hope was that Damian would have won. Dominic Mysterio won with interference because, of course, it happened, and that gave us two Monday Night Raw people. So it would have the semifinals then were Oba and Dominic. I will say for both the men and women's, there have only been um one of the semifinals matches. The other one is going to happen in a couple days, Friday night. Um, Obviously, I'll update on my TikTok with how I feel about those ones. Yeah. And then we have Seth Rollins, Javon Evans, Tonga Loa. Is that correct? And Ricky Saints. Now, I don't know much about Ricky Saints. I really want to get into NXT and start watching NXT. I watch the clips that pop up. Sometimes I'll watch like on Instagram and TikTok. Sometimes I'll watch YouTube videos. I have some of my favorites in NXT, but I haven't like sat down and watched a full episode of it, or and I need to. So I really did not know much about Ricky Saints. I mean, he shows up on the show, so there is some parts that I'm like, okay, yeah, I can kind of get it. Um, I really want. There wasn't really. I really wanted Javon to win, and he did. But it's not like I really had much of an opinion either way on who I wanted to win. Javon was my pick either way. And then we had the last one, Jey Uso, LA Knight, Royce Keys, and Finn Balor, which Finn Balor has been moved to SmackDown. Last Friday was my favorite, actually. Seeing Finn and Damian interact for the first time in however long it's been, and it was actually really fun to me because I kept telling my dad after Finn got kicked out of the Judgment Day, I was like, I really hope we'll see Finn and Damian and Rhea. And it was funny because I watched uh uh Friday Night SmackDown through a VPN so I can watch it on Netflix. Um because I do not have the ability to watch it on TV. So hey, at least I'm watching it. And I pay for Netflix anyways. Anyways, that's the only time I use it is for Friday Night SmackDown. Um, but yeah, I was really hoping Finn Balor and Damian and Rhea would interact, and then Friday we had Finn and R-Truth started interacting with each other, and I went out to my dad and I turned my tablet around, which is what I'm recording on. I turned my tablet around and I was like, look at this. I said, if Damian shows up, I'm actually going to lose it. 2 seconds later, Damian shows up and I literally like fall to the ground. Was it over dramatic? Yes. Am I aware of that? Yes. But I was having fun with it. And my dad was like watching on my tablet. He was kind of into it too. But it was so funny. I like dramatically, like, I didn't even like sun down either. I somehow gracefully did it. And I was like, never in my life have I gracefully fallen. Um, but I hurt my shoulder because the way I did it, it was kind of like drop and then with my tablet. So my shoulder kind of like popped out. Not popped out, it just hurt. But oh my god, the Damian and Finn Crows. Oh, the OG Judgment Day, dear lord. Um, so that was fun. I either wanted, okay, I really wanted Finn to win because I thought that would be fun to have Finn in the semifinals. Um, Jey Uso won, which I feel like I should have um expected, but at the same time, I don't like how they're doing this, right? So for the King of the Ring, all the semifinalists were from Monday Night Raw. Now you have great people on each show that they had put in the semifinal or in the four ways that you could have put two and two from each show and it would have been more, in my opinion, more interesting to have, you know, like they did the semifinals on Monday. You have a Monday Night Raw and a Friday Night SmackDown. Like, I don't know. That's just a personal opinion. I feel like it should have been two and two. But they put all Monday Night Raw for the men's, and I even posted on Threads. Let me pull it up because I do live post on Threads. Um, I made the comment. I said, so what's the point of not having a SmackDown wrestler proceed in the King of the Ring tournament? Why does it all have to be Monday Night Raw? Having any of the SmackDown wrestlers in it would have been great. It's the same thing for the Queen of the Ring. Um, they only have Charlotte, which I will get more into that in it, which she's Friday Night SmackDown. She was the only Friday Night SmackDown women's wrestler that was in it. It would have made more sense to me to have two from each show. And then I proceeded. Now, I'm not saying I'm mad about who all advanced. I'm just confused about why they chose it to be like this. And I had a few people respond. Somebody mentioned they don't think that the WWE has a final plan for it yet. Somebody made the comment, all of the Monday Night Raw winners seems like something they wouldn't do and therefore is less predictable. Having two from each show seems very predictable, and then one from each show would be expected. And I get what that person was saying. However, why would you not want talent from each show to like kind of shine through? Like, yeah, is it expected to have 2 and 2 and then the finals be 1 and 1? Yes. However, I would have been more excited to see that, to see, oh, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Um, but I mean, that's the show's choice. Um, I get like wrestlers show up on both shows a lot anyways. They don't really have a set show unless it's for specific reasons. Well, they have set shows, but they often will go back and forth between the two. Like, you see it a lot. But I would have expected that, again, maybe that's just me, but yeah. And then we get to the King of the Ring first semifinal match, which was on Monday, and we had Obafemi and Dominic Mysterio. This one also confused me. I believe yeah, I did put it on Threads as well. I said there's 5 minutes left. This match is gonna be done so fucking quick. Um, it was kind of odd. I wonder if they ran over on time and that's why it went on a bit longer. But it was like 10:25. Now I live on the East Coast, so Eastern time, that they started. I'm trying to think of the words. Dear Lord, that they started the King of the Ring semifinal match. And I was like, okay, with entrances and all that, that's gonna take a couple minutes. And then it's like 3 minutes, if that, to wrestle. But they ended up going over, I think, about like 10 minutes, something like that, which is interesting. Again, I wonder if they ran over with time. That could be a whole separate thing. Um, I forget on Monday who had a match right at 10. It was like a match set up out of nowhere. Like, oh, you want to have a match? Let's do a match now. I can't remember who it was. I wonder if that's what caused it to run over. Anyways, Obafemi ended up winning, and that wasn't for lack of Dominic trying to cheat, because he did. He put the ring bell in his shoe, but Oba prevailed, and now Oba is on to the finals. Now, for Friday, they have Javon Evans and Jey Uso. Who do I think is going to win? Jey. Who do I want to win? Javon. I do think it would be amazing for Javon to be in the finals for King of the Ring. I believe he deserves it. He's really good. However, I do fear they might be putting Jey into the finals just because it's Jey. So either it's going to be Oba and Javon in the finals at Night of Champions, or it's going to be Oba and Jey in the finals at Night of Champions. So yeah. Again, my predictions for the rest of it is Javon's gonna win the semifinals match, and then it'll be Oba, and Javon. However, I would love Javon to win it all, although I do think it's gonna be Oba. So yeah, that's the King of the Ring tournament. And then we have the Queen of the Ring tournament. I have my opinions on that as well. So we had Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Chelsea Green. Now I'm a part of the crowd that is saying, why the fuck is Liv in the Queen of the Ring tournament? She has one of the championship belts that will be on the line for whoever wins the finals of the Queen of the Ring at Night of Champions at SummerSlam. I do not see the point in that. No offense, I do not see it at all. Um, why would you put somebody who has a title like that in there? Now, Sol Ruka is also in um the she was in a fatal four-way match herself. And she has the Intercontinental Champion. It's kind of like how Trick and Penta had it, but those are like, I think that's what the people what the people are calling the mid card title. I'm not sure if that's the correct term for it that people have been calling it. However, I don't think it makes sense um to have Liv Morgan being the Queen of the Ring, especially with the fact that she has one of the titles that could be won, or well, could be defended. And I wonder, did I make a comment about it? Sorry, I made a lot of comments. Just like I told you, I make a lot of comments. Um I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah, I'm a little. Okay, I can't find it. Maybe I didn't say anything. Again, I don't make it doesn't make sense for me to have Liv Morgan in the Queen of the Ring tournament because again, she has one of the titles that can be defended. Anyways, Liv Morgan ended up advancing in the Queen of the Ring. She's in a semifinal match on Friday. I really hope she doesn't win because, again, what sense is that going to make if she wins and goes to the finals? Whatever. And then we had Sol Ruka, Lyra Valkyria. Is that how that's said? Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. That match was actually really interesting. That was a good match. I really liked it. Um, I think they all put out their all. Poor Jade, her wig slipped off, and I'm like, oh girl, I'm so sorry. Poor Jade. I may not be the biggest fan of her character, but girl, oh my god. Um, Charlotte Flair ended up winning, which made her the only SmackDown SmackDown women's wrestler to advance into the semifinals, which Liv and Charlotte have their match um Friday. Sorry, my brain's not working. And then we had and then I think Liv, sorry, let me go back to Liv real quick. I think Liv had some interference in her match too with Judgment Day members, so whatever. And then we had Roxanne Perez, Io Sky, Julia, and Lash Legend. Honestly, I was really hoping it was going to be Io or Julia. Io did win and she advanced, and I'm so happy for her. Oh my god, I love Io so much. Um, I think Roxanne was the only member of the Judgment Day in either the King or Queen of the Ring tournaments that did not have Judgment Day interference. And I'm hoping this is like a starting catalyst for Roxanne finally leaving Judgment Day. I really need it to happen. Hurry up, WWE. I could probably write a better script for this than you guys have been planning out. I'm lying. I may be an author. I don't know if I'm that good, but like this is taking forever. Um, but Io moved on. She was a semifinalist, and then we had Bailey, Raquel, JC Jane, and Kiana James, which was very interesting. Raquel ended up moving on, and I do believe that also was interference. related. I'm not gonna lie, I think I fell asleep during that show that happened because they had been in the UK and they had been doing shows at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast, and I had to like calculate it and everything, but I had been not feeling well. I had been sleeping a lot during the day. Insomnia will do that to you. Anyways, Raquel ended up going on, and then Io and Raquel had their semifinal match. They tried, Judgment Day tried to interfere to help Raquel. Um, did they? Pause. Am I lying? Am I a liar? I thought they did. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought they did. It might have been. I can't remember, even though it was just Monday. I have terrible memory. Wow, so I didn't have storage on my tablet and it cut me off. I love this. I was gonna say my job. This really isn't a job. I would love for it to be, but it is not. Anyways, as I was saying, I think Liv interfered in the match with Io and Raquel. I cannot remember due to the fact I have terrible memory, even though it's just a couple days ago. Um, so yeah, but Io ended up winning, and she is now a finalist in the Queen of the Ring tournament. I am so happy for her. Which means on Friday it is going to be Liv Morgan and Charlotte Flair to see who advances to face Io at Night of Champions. If WWE was smart, in my opinion, they would let Charlotte win because Liv already has a title. And I believe from what my dad said, Night of Champions, every title gets defended. So that's what my dad said. Don't quote me. I don't know. But if that's the truth, why would they have Liv doing 2 matches? That just doesn't make sense to me. So my hope is it's going to be Charlotte and Io. And either way, depending on who they would pick to have a match against at SummerSlam, Charlotte's already made it known to Rhea that, hey, if I win, we might be friendly now. We might be kind of friends, but I'm coming for that title. Fair enough, girl. Fair enough, queen. Get it. And Io, if Io challenges either Liv or Rhea, it would be very interesting either way. If she challenges Rhea, that would be very interesting considering their whole Rio tag team era, which I miss so much. Give me my Rio back. Anyways, I do think that would be very interesting to watch. Um, and if it's Liv and Io, oh, that would be great too. I would enjoy that as well. However, I really hope it is, and I mean Liv and Io as a match at SummerSlam, right? Not a match at Night of Champions. I really do not want them to face each other at Night of Champions. I would rather, if they're going to do a Io and Liv thing, that it would happen during SummerSlam. Which, if that were to happen during SummerSlam, that would be a perfect time to have Asuka come back. Now, I don't know. I remember she had said she was dealing with some personal stuff and that's why she was in Japan. But if they think about working her back into it, that would be a perfect time because we know Liv would try to get Roxanne and Raquel to help her win against Io. Ignore my arm moving. I'm just tapping on my bed. Um, that would already be there. So it'd be interesting to see if they would get someone to help out Io. Now they could get Asuka to help out Io. They could get Stephanie Vaquier to help out Io. Or they could get Rhea to help out Io. Any of these would be a great decision. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's my current opinions on the King and the Queen tournaments. I will say again, I will be posting on my TikTok, which let me make sure I say my TikTok correctly so that way. Ooh, let me turn down the music. Let me not get copyright. Also, have y'all seen Alexa Bliss lately? Holy fucking shit, man. I love women. Okay, so it's Sephi Rose 04. Oh, brightness is up too far again. Sephi Rose 04. I post a lot of, not a lot, but I've been trying to post different things about wrestling. I posted a video actually on my birthday about some Topps cards I got. But if you want to follow for more stuff about wrestling and all that, there's on my TikTok. I talk a lot about it too. But yeah, I really hope we see again my opinion for who the finals are going to be. I would love it to be Charlotte and Io for the Queen of the Ring at Night in Champions, and then Io winning. But I would not be mad about Charlotte winning. And then for the men's, it would be Javon and Oba would be my hope. I know Oba would probably be the one to win. However, I do see them going through with a storyline of Javon winning and then Oba having another match with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. But I do think Oba would be the one who's winning. But yeah, thank you for listening to me rant, talk about WWE and the King of the Queen of the Ring tournaments. Um, Hopefully I'll have another video up sooner. If not, the next video, if there's not one coming out sooner, should be about Night of Champions. And then my opinions on all that. So thank you for watching and bye.